Welcome back, heroes. And today we talk about Torbjorn. And yes, that's how I'm going to pronounce it. Now, what is there to say about Torbjorn? He seems to be the dwarf of Overwatch, but he's not actually a dwarf, so don't think that. One thing's for sure is that he's a very interesting character. And as you might expect from a dwarf-looking character, he's very good with machines and building stuff. And designing. Giving him the name as an engineer, and a very good one at that one. Ingenious is what some might call him. Now, Torbjorn Lindholm, which is his name, begins his story in his regular life as an ingenious engineer who was made to design weapons, systems, pretty much anything with technology, machinery for countries around the world. One of the things that distinguished him among most of his peers is that where some people always were ignorant to the fact that robots might overthrow the humans, he wasn't. He was always very skeptical and paranoid. In fact, some of the Omnics might think that as discrimination. But he was right. As you might have guessed, the Omnic Crisis did happen. And Torbjorn knew it would happen. And the reason why he had this deep mistrust is because some of his buyers wanted to use his machinery and weapons for the Omnics to use, because you could just program a robot to do whatever you wanted it to do, and therefore they would do that certain program. Like I said, Torbjorn was paranoid. He knew something bad was going to come of this. And boy, he was 100% right. He was very smart not to sell some of his greatest things away. However, there were some issues with the things that he did sell, because he can't prevent anyone from buying it. Of course, he has to sell and people have to buy for him to make money. That's how he's got to make a living. A great example of this is that one of the things he used was called the Titan. It was a giant mech capable of efficient urban development, which was just to build buildings. It was nothing serious. It was used to make lives easier, build things faster. It was all around a great machine. However, the Omnic Crisis began. There's a program called the God Programs, which managed to weaponize these Titans and other of Torbjorn's weaponry into these mass destruction capable weapons. As you can see by this picture, a Titan is very large. In fact, without weapons, just walking around would destroy most, if not all, of anything in its way. With the Omnic Crisis reaching its peak of destruction and all these machinery running around that Torbjorn himself had actually made, the Overwatch team was put together, the original strike team, alongside Jack Morrison, Gabriel Reyes, Reinhardt Wilhelm, Anna Amari, which is the new sniper that you can play as, and Liao. Within Overwatch, his engineering genius allowed the Overwatch strike team to use his many inventions that proved as an integral part to ending the Omnic Crisis. Which is a shame, because in the game you only see him use a turret, when in actuality he does have a lot more up his sleeve that we're just not seeing. And if you're wondering what Torbjorn did after the collapse of Overwatch, because he was so tied into Overwatch. In fact, going back to him being a part of the strike team, while it was still going on, Overwatch had a lot of perks. They were allowed to get a hold of a lot of medals. Torbjorn, being the inventor and engineer that he is, absolutely loved this. It made his life that much more enjoyable. He can create bigger and better things that could help the human race, and possibly even help the Omnics, even though he really does hate the Omnics. He was just having a blast. But as I was saying, after the aftermath of Overwatch's fall, all the weapons that he had been storing and making and creating and even giving away, some of those weapons have been stolen. They were stashed away around the world for people to use, never find again. Maybe some of these people thought that they were too powerful and could not be used for good at all. Some of these people wanted to use it for their own benefits. So, feeling responsible, Torbjorn has made it his duty to track down all these missing parts and metals, machines, to fix the wrongs. Even though he didn't do anything, he feels responsible because the machines that they stole were his. These people are using his creations for bad. And in that way, Torbjorn believes that he is responsible. So he goes out and he tries to find these machines and put an end to the people that are using it. If any of you guys want to follow Torbjorn anymore, there actually is a little comic out for him. It's called The Destroyer. And in that, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's talking about him having to travel to Kazakhstan to combat a Titan, which, as you remember, is that gigantic robot used to build things, and it's destroying a city. So he must find out how to prevent all this. Going along the lines of, like I said, getting back the machines that he had built, that people had stolen. This is his mission. This is just one of many, however. But anyway, guys, that's it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Later, heroes.